What's up, Rich Squad? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich. Today, January the 7th, is my birthday, and I want to take the time to thank everyone who said happy birthday in the comment section of my videos. You are the real MVP. I really appreciate it. I had a nice relaxing day, stayed home, just chill all day, and just relax. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. But it's day 3 of the 2019 AFC Asian Cup. We saw action on days 1 and 2, and day 3 promised more and it delivered. On match day 3, we had action from Group C and Group D. Let's start with the first Group C fixture. This morning, I got up really early after going to bed really late. I got like 3 hours of sleep, but I had to get up to catch a bit of the China versus Kyrgyzstan fixture. Have never seen Kyrgyzstan play, haven't seen China play in a very long time. I was really tired. I was in and out of sleep, but still caught a little piece of the game. In this game, China prevailed 2-1 to bag a very important 3 points in a very interesting group. Remember yesterday I predicted Kyrgyzstan to pull a shock upset and defeat China, but then again I said it might not happen, but still, Kyrgyzstan played well in the first half. They scored first in the 42nd minute through Israelov. It was from a throw-in routine. It was a first-time shot, beat the Chinese goalkeeper. And when I saw the goal, I was like, that goal could have been conceded by any team in the world because of how he hit it first time. It was from a throw-in and they were 1-up. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. But they concede a goal early in the second half, and it was one of the most hysterical own goal you could ever see. It was a Loris Karius moment. It was actually worse than Loris Karius because it was a corner and the ball went up in the air, and while it's coming down, I don't know what the goalkeeper did. I don't know how he managed to get that ball in the back of the net, but he somehow put it in the back of the net and China equalized. China went ahead in the 78th minute when Yu went around the goalkeeper to put it in the back of the net, and it was not a good showing by Kyrgyzstan in the fight back at all. I could remember late in the game, Anton Zemlyanukin, he had a corner. In the game when, it's almost full time and you just scrambling to try to score and equalize. Well, they were doing that and they had a corner. Zemlyanukin took the corner and it went all the way over to the other side, and I was like, wow. They did not look good. Maybe they got deflated after going behind. It was always an uphill task playing versus a well-drilled team like China. Guys, remember, this is the first time Kyrgyzstan has qualified for the AFC Asian Cup, and it's because of the expansion. But let's not take anything away from them. They qualified, they're happy to be there, but let's be honest, they have a very long way to go before they begin to compete versus the other teams in Asia. So as I said before, this is a very important 3-point for China, who isn't looking too good, to be honest. If it wasn't for the goalkeeping mistakes, China, could have dropped 2 points or even 3. So they need to get their act together before they go into their second fixture. The other Group C fixture was between South Korea and the Philippines. Philippines are making their debut at the tournament as well, and I think they put up a good showing in their first AFC Asian Cup fixture, despite losing 1-0. I also got to watch this fixture and I was really impressed with the way the Philippines were playing. They looked like they were playing with passion. They had a game plan and they were sticking to it. Despite having a little bit of the possession, well, they ended with 18% possession and only, I think 4 shots, and 2 of those shots on target. But they played well. They kept themselves in the game all the way to the 68th minute, I think, until Huang scored. But I think it's a very good performance by Philippines. They would fancy their chances versus, a rusty looking China and even Kyrgyzstan. and they maybe can squeeze out of the group as the best third place team. What I learned from this game is that South Korea is not a very good team without Son Heung-min. Philippines almost pulled off a draw versus a team that qualified for the World Cup, and they are regular at the World Cup. They are regular at the Asian Cup. So they need to get their act together and they need to put on a better performance even if Son Heung-min is not playing. As for the Philippines, they need to work on their shooting. They need to work on creating more chances. You can't play the game by just sitting back and soaking up pressure, hoping to pull off a draw. You know, sooner or later the pressure is going to be too much and they're going to concede goals like they did today. But all in all, I'm very impressed with what I've seen with Philippines. You know, they showed heart. Even though they did not complete a lot of passes, they did not get a lot of possession, they still went out there and played with passion. At the end of the first round of the Group C fixtures, China leads the group with 3 points, South Korea second 3 points, Kyrgyzstan third without a point, and the Philippines at the bottom also without a point. The next Group C fixtures will be Friday the 11th of January, where China takes on the Philippines and South Korea will take on Kyrgyzstan. After watching today's Group C fixtures, I think that South Korea and China will breeze through this group. Kyrgyzstan and Philippines will depend on the fixture they play against each other to try to pick up a win to scrape through to the round of 16 as the best third place team from this group. But coming up versus China or South Korea, they always going to struggle. And now for the first Group D fixture of the tournament, Iran versus the happy Yemen. Well, they weren't so happy after the game because they lost 5-0. We had a brace by Mehdi Taremi, we had a goal by Dejaga, we had a goal by Sada Azmoun, and we had a goal by the substitute Godos. This game was like a nice warm-up match for Iran because Yemen, you know, they were really toothless going forward. They came into this tournament as the team that scored the least goals to qualify. Note that. So going forward, they don't have anything threatening at all. Alaa Al-Sasi is in the team, but he did not, you know, threaten at all versus that Iranian defense. As we learned from the World Cup, Carlos Queiroz has this team really well drilled. They're a defensive style type of team, but today they showed that they can attack. When it's necessary, they could just close up shop like they did at the World Cup versus Portugal, like they did versus Spain, and they went on to defeat Morocco. So Iran, the team that I picked to actually win this tournament, and they have looked the best so far in the tournament, so they might just prove me right. So great win by Iran, 5-0. It will do their goal difference a really big favor as well. Remember, the other two teams in this group is Iraq and Vietnam. The Iraq fixture will prove to be a test for Iran. Well, you know, maybe, let's just say maybe, but they should, you know, wipe away Vietnam. Yes, I'm underestimating Vietnam right now. Iran should wipe them away. Iran could go on to bag 9 points in this group, or 7 points if Iraq show up and, you know, be a thorn in their sides. But as I said, the fixture versus Yemen, it's like a practice game. Yemen did not pose any type of threat, so we can't really judge Iran just yet until they meet a more formidable opponent, and let's say Iraq might, you know, be that opponent. Iran's next fixture will be versus Vietnam on Saturday the 12th of January, while Iraq will play Yemen on Saturday the 12th of January as well. So Iran's next game is another easy one. So 6 points in the bag into the round of 16. They know how to approach the last fixture versus Iraq. They may not want to rest, you know, too many players versus Iraq. So they might rest players going into the fixture versus Vietnam and, you know, bring a full strength team versus Iraq. You know, that would be a very enticing fixture. So since that's the only fixture played in Group D, Iran are on top of the table with 3 points, Iraq second without a point yet to play, Vietnam third, and at the bottom, Yemen. They might just stay at the bottom. The Yemen versus Vietnam game will be one to watch, really one to watch. one of these teams will try to pick up 3 points to try to squeeze out of the group as one of the best third place teams as well. So as always, I'm gonna let you know my predictions for tomorrow's fixture. We will have the other group, the match between Iraq and Vietnam, and then we will have the first fixture from Group E between Saudi Arabia and North Korea. So the first game, I'm gonna predict Vietnam versus Iraq. Right away, I'm gonna say Iraq is gonna win this fixture. Vietnam, I have never seen play, to be honest. I'm not gonna underestimate them. You know, the smaller teams have really been playing well, you know, in the tournament so far. So I'm gonna say a respectable 2-1 win for Iraq. You know, Vietnam are not gonna get blown away. On the flip side, it will be lovely to see Vietnam pull off a very, very unlikely victory versus the 2007 Asian Cup champions. And then for the Saudi Arabia versus North Korea fixture, this one is kind of tricky to predict, but I'm gonna back Saudi Arabia to pull this off and win this match 2-0. Remember, Saudi Arabia was at the 2018 World Cup and they won that game versus Egypt. So they are a very gritty team with guys like Salem Al-Dosari, the captain Osama Hassawi, they have Mohammed Al-Salawi, there's also Fahad Al-Muwallad, Yahya Al-Sheri. North Korea brings an element of surprise, so we don't know what they're gonna do. They might just upset Saudi Arabia and pull off a very, very unlikely victory. So guys, that's my roundup of match day 3 of the 2019 AFC Asian Cup. And if you're new around here, consider hitting the subscribe button for more. Leave a like. Get this video to over 100 likes, guys. Share it on your social media. Let me know your thoughts on all the match day 3 fixtures in the comment section down below. And until next time, peace out. Rich Squad.